Continental Airlines Flight 159 to New York City, now boarding at Gate 11. We will now be boarding all economy passengers rows 20 through 30. Rows 20 through 30, please make your way to the boarding gate.
Mott's Trailways to New York City, now departing from Gate 4. Last call for Mott's Trailways to New York City. Making stops at Mount Pocono, Stroudsburg, Hazleton, and final destination, New York City.
Thank you for traveling with Amtrak. We will now be boarding passengers for the 4:45 p.m. train to Penn Station, New York City.
I made sure to pack my favorite photograph of you and Dad and me down by the lake. When I'm settled in, be sure to visit. Sorry, I'll be gone when you awake. I'm all packed and said goodbye to family. I've got my ticket and I'm on my way.
As I leave, I know just what you're thinking. It's nothing new, I hear it every day. The world is full of people chasing rainbows, who find themselves with nothing but fool's gold. So many dream of technicolor lives they'll never see, but there's no one in the world
I can't believe I'm finally here. I come from this gigantic Italian family from Queens, and it almost killed them when I told them I was moving to Manhattan. I had to say to them, guys, shut up. It's only 20 minutes away. Jeez. When I was a kid, I used to perform musicals on the front stoop of my apartment building. I would write the musicals, make the costumes, and of course, star. The kids on my block didn't have a lot of money, so for a couple of pieces of gum or candy, they'd get a step on the stoop to see the greatest show on the block. And no complimentary seats. A girl's gotta make a living. Sure, they could have snuck into the movies, but why see a stupid Western when they could see Ross Sherman starring on the stoop? Twice on Wednesdays. Now, I'm stepping off the stoop and into the big city. Sure, it's scary, but there's no one in the world. First thing off the train, you've got to get the trades. That's where they announce all the auditions.
Todd and I rented a tiny apartment on the Upper East Side. I broke down into tears when I realized the bathtub was in the kitchen.
I'm going to get me an agent. Let him find all the jobs for me. I mean, come on. I've got the good looks. I've got the talent. Why should I have to do all the work?
I got a job at Starbucks. I know it's not a show, but it does have the word star in the title.
First thing I did was go out and find me some pot. It's a stressful city, and I take pride in remaining calm at all times. Therefore, the pot is strictly medicinal.
Don't believe what everyone tells you about New York. But people aren't as rude as they say they are. They're much worse. I called my mom. We cried for 3 hours.
I went straight to an audition. I gave myself 5 years to make it, and I had to get busy. 5 years. That's it.
Some enchanted evening. Some enchanted evening.
Say what you say, call me cliche. I'm gonna take Broadway. Give me a chance to sing and dance. I'm gonna make Broadway. I'm gonna be tapping. They're gonna be clapping. On that great day, I finally play Broadway. That awful swing don't mean a thing. I'd rather sing Broadway. Spare me the blues that I can choose. I'd rather choose Broadway. I'm telling you, no dude compares to a show. Out of my way, I'm gonna play Broadway. When it first hit me, I was so high. I knew the stage would call someday. There's not a feeling like a show high. You grin and roar, begging for more Broadway. Show me a move, I'm gonna prove I'm ready for Broadway. I'll be a hit and never quit until I make Broadway. I'm here and I'm hoping. So when do we open? Like it or not, I'm burning hot. Give me a shot, run off the spot. I'm gonna rot until I got Broadway. My favorite show was a chorus line. You want to know how that show fucked up my life?
My parents took me to see it when I was 5 years old, and I got the album the next day and completely wore it out. Oh, I used to dream of the day I would go to an audition and step out of the line and tell them all how screwed up my family was or how I lost my virginity. Well, guess what? That never happens in an audition. My first audition lasted all of 30 seconds. That's it. What do you mean that's it? Where's the mirrors? Where's Cassie? Where's my sexy gold lame outfit? A chorus line? What a crock of shit.
Show me a move, I'm gonna prove I'm ready for Broadway. I'll be a hit and never quit until I make Broadway. I'm here and I'm open, so when we open, say what you say, call me cliche. One shining day, I'm gonna play top of the bill, queen of the hill, desperate until one day I will. Out of my way, I'm gonna play
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
I didn't get the job. They said I wasn't the type they were looking for. No big surprise. Girls have been saying that to me for years.
Todd and I were high school sweethearts. He asked me to marry him right after graduation, but I told him I couldn't. I had to go to New York to be a star. I know he thought I was being foolish, but you know what? He came with me. I started writing my one-woman show, Life Through Lisa. It's all about my life. My parents died in a car crash when I was 4, and I was raised by my lesbian aunt and her lover of 20 years. In my show, I play all the characters, both lesbian aunts. I play the bully in high school who called me dyke and beat me. I am a true artist, and I will not have commercialism screwing up my vision. Merchandising for my show will be just the way I want. T-shirts with my bloodied face on after being gay bashed. Coffee mugs with my parents' dead bodies. New York has never seen the likes of me. And hopefully, after, I'll get a sitcom out of it.
Working at Starbucks was nothing compared to my old job back at home. My mother died in childbirth, and my father was blinded in a tragic nail gun accident, so I had to work from the age of 15 at an adult toy factory. I figured I loved toys as a child. Why shouldn't I love adult toys as well? But I had no idea what they were. Even after I saw them on the conveyor belt, these large black rubber things, I thought, oh, what interesting paperweights.
I grew up in a tiny town just outside of Dallas. My father was a Baptist preacher, and my mother was an organ player, and not the fun kind. I bet you're wondering how a hick like me ended up in New York City. Well, one summer when I was just about 10 years old, I went to stay with my aunt in Beaumont. And while I was there, I found a cassette of The Sound of Music. Wow, I could not believe it. I did not know stuff like that existed. Then I found Fiddler on the Roof and Camelot. And when it was time for me to leave, I did not know what to do. I just wanted to take it all back home with me. So I did. I stole all my aunt's cassette tapes. Of course, she told my parents, and they seriously thought I was a kleptomaniac. I still remember their faces when I told them. Daddy, Mama, I'm not a kleptomaniac. I'm a fag.
When I told my father I was moving to New York to be an actor, he got up from the table and walked out the room. He didn't even say goodbye to me when I left. My mother drove me to the airport. She didn't say a word the entire way. Before I got on the plane, she hugged me and whispered in my ear, "You go out there and you show that bastard you got what it takes." She let go and walked away. Mom said I was destined for greatness.
My father was a television evangelist.
Dad said I was wasting my life.
He had his own show called called the God Squad.
Who knew all the things that he said?
We used to have to pretend to be the perfect family for the television audience.
Would pass through his lips and cut me like a knife.
All 6 of them.
Growing up, it was just me and Mom from day one. We were quite poor, but we didn't let that get to us. Once, we went to a Saturday matinee of Grease. When it was over, we just sat there. She held my hand and the movie started again. Afterwards, she knew I had to do that one day. Mom said as they left for the station, Dad said I was praying for salvation. Mom said I would make it someday. Who knew all the things that she said? Were the very words that haunt me to this day.
Well-chosen words work wonders on their own
And cut right to the bone.
Dad said I was destined for failure.
Dad said we must all strive for heaven.
Mom said I would do very well.
I was headed for hell.
Who knew all the things that he said?
All the things that she said were the few words that so clearly show and tell. A few well-chosen words. Two well-chosen words.
So they said.
So I fled.
I couldn't wait to get out of that town. I left early one Sunday morning. I couldn't bear to sit through another one more of my father's god-awful sermons. So I arrive in New York and look for work. And what do I find? An opening singing every Sunday morning in a fucking church choir. Is that some kind of a sick joke? Well, at least I was getting paid to listen to that bullshit. During the week, I audition. I have to be up at 5:30 to get to Equity at 6:30. And I'm stuck in line behind some pissy queen who keeps practicing his audition song at the top of his lungs. Some enchanted evening, over and over. I wanted to yell at him, "You stupid imbecile, we're auditioning for hair." Well, I showed him. He was so busy practicing his stupid song, he never even noticed I took his wallet.
You can't get arrested in this town if you don't have an agent. To get seen, you have to show up at the audition 3 hours early and wait. If you have an agent, you just stroll on in without a care in the world. I had to get an agent. I was sick and tired of waiting in the freezing cold just to finally get in there and sing 16 bars. How do these people expect to learn anything about me in 16 bars? I'm gonna be a star and all you allow me to sing is 16 bar? Fuck you!
Thank you. Thank you.
Every day we sweat, and what do we get? Only 16 bars.
Chances of career, and what do they hear? Stupid 16 bars.
Before you think and reject song, how about the whole damn song? How can anybody see we're stars in 16 bars?
Hi, I'm Phoenix Mills. Oh, hi, how are you? I'm great, thanks. I'll be doing a song from Ruth by Jerry Heyman. She's like a three-ring circus. She's like the moon in June. She's all cotton candy and sweet as the sweetest tooth.
Thank you.
Thank you. like a swab. Did you get your job singing 16 bars? Are you such a queer? I would like to hear you sing 16 bars.
Before you throw me on my ass, how about a touch of class? How can anybody sing her stories in 16 bars? Oh, but wouldn't it be so wonderful just to sing, simply knowing that you'll sing your song like an angel, and they'll ask of you, keep on going.
Oh, what would it be so fabulous for you grab for comprehending that you sing a song like an angel, and they'll ask of you, what's the ending?
Perfect for the show, but how could they know? Hearing 16 bars.
Gotta play the lead, but I really need more than 16 bars.
Before you toss me on my ear, wouldn't you take time to hear?
How can anybody see with stars?
Hey, big town, listen to me. Hey, big town, don't you screw me. Hey, big town, don't you?
Get off the stage.
In 16
I don't mind auditions so much. I'm used to being treated like a pile of manure. I have 7 brothers, all older. There wasn't a day that went by that I was beat up or strung up and left for dead. So auditions made me feel right at home. More at home, really. I mean, in a family of 8 boys, you knew one of them had to be gay. And wouldn't you know it, it had to be me. I remember when I told my mama that I was gay, she passed out cold. When she came to, she said, "Son, you ever say that to me again, next time it's going to be a stroke." Well, it didn't take me long to realize that I had to up and get the hell out of Dodge. I don't mind it here so much. People can be a little mean. You know, I was at one audition, practicing my song, waiting to go in. I was singing Some Enchanted Evening. And some dirty bitch went and stole my wallet.
The first time I ever performed was on a radio variety hour when I was 6. And after that, I was hooked. I wanted to be a star. And that's exactly what my family told me I was gonna be. They were wrong. I mean, I was a star in their eyes for sure, but once I got off that plane in New York, for the first time in my life, no one cared who I was or what I was doing there. For so many years, my parents cheered me on. Now, once in New York, I was just a number, another one out of millions.
Well, my mother was addicted to Valium since the beginning of time, and my father screwed everything that wasn't nailed down. What chance did I have? They were hippies from the word go. We lived in San Francisco on a commune for 10 years. I lost my virginity at the age of 12 to a tarot card reader named February. I smoked my first joint at the age of 10 with my father. My parents took me to a roadshow of hair. What else? And I couldn't believe what I saw. They were singing and dancing and nude and getting high, rolling around the floor like my parents back at the commune, and getting paid. It was there and then I knew I had to be in the show business.
Mom worked overtime to pay for my dance classes. And I was the only girl in town who had a paper route. But it all paid off. Here I am. I miss her. She's in the same tiny apartment in West Hollywood, and here I am, in my tiny apartment, thousands of miles apart.
Growing up in a commune, you're surrounded by family and friends. And now, here in the city, I'm surrounded by strangers.
Crammed onto subways.
Restaurants filled with people.
Traffic.
Parties packed with strangers wall to wall.
Sometimes you can't walk down the sidewalk because of the crowds.
Millions, stacked 40 stories high.
20,000 people on my block alone.
So many.
And yet, it feels like there's no one in the world but me.
Somebody find me a someone. Somebody toss me a line. A friend, a lover, just someone to call mine. 'Cause I'm sinking fast, and I'm almost done in this city of millions. There has to be someone. You can look down a sidewalk, maybe crossing the street, to see through all the people, and someday we will meet in the parks and the restaurants. Someday soon all the crowds will part, and you'll finally find me finding my way to your heart.
Somebody find me somewhere. Somebody give me a clue. A path, direction, just somewhere to run to. 'Cause I'm losing hope that once was there in the city of millions. There has to be someone.
You can look down a sidewalk, maybe crossing the street, to see through all the people,
And someday we will meet
in the parks and the restaurants. Someday soon all the crowds will part, and you'll finally find me finding my way to your heart. Someone find me, please remind me what it feels like, not alone. Can't you see me? Won't you free me in a crowd lost on my own? You can look down the sidewalk, maybe crossing the street, looking through all the people. Someday we will meet in the parks and the restaurants. Someday soon all the crowds will part, and you'll finally find me finding my way to your heart. And you'll finally find me
finding my way.
finding my way to your heart.
I got a job in rent. 8 shows a week. I got to belt my heart out. When I was just a tiny thing, my mama was too poor to pay for a babysitter, so she used to hide me behind the bar on her shifts. I would stand on beer crates and pretend I was on stage, singing every single song that came on that jukebox. And now, I'm gonna be singing in front of a Broadway audience. This rocks!
I got Kerrison in a musical based on Hiroshima. It was called Hiroshima, with an exclamation point. It's amazing what people can do with exclamation points.
Mama, they made me an offer. Guess what? I got the part.
Mama, I just signed the contract. Finally, it's gonna start.
In your blink of an eye, someone says you can fly all at once, some incredible bliss. All the scratching and clawing, the hanging and hauling, the begging and pleading, the falling and breathing, it all comes down to this.
I got the job as a lead in a brand new musical. And I got an agent.
I called my parents as soon as I found out. They were so thrilled. Their baby was gonna be on Broadway.
I was fired from Starbucks for spitting in people's coffee when they were rude. But I showed them. I got cast as a flight attendant in a new musical called Bumpy Ride. I almost turned it down. You see, I'm terrified of flying.
I'm understudying Cornelius Hackle in Hello Dolly with Carol Channing. I've been impersonating her since I was this high.
Get me, I'm with William Morris. Guess who's playing the lead?
I'm gonna open on Broadway. Finally, my chance to succeed.
With a twist of a screw, all my dreams come true. I'm the last living from the abyss. All the clutching and crying, the living and dying, the watching and waiting, the switching and waiting. It all comes down to
I got cast in the road show of O Calcutta. The entire show is performed in the nude. Have you ever done a time step with all your goods flapping all over the place? It ain't pretty.
Here I am, on the brink, walking off the plank. Everyone's so sure I'll sink.
I got a grant to perform my one-woman show, Life Through Lisa. After a dozen rewrites, it's ready for an audience. New York's never seen anything like this. Car crashes, death, lesbians. It's got Pulitzer Prize written all over it.
Still up at the bank, there's a star with my name, a marquee with my face. On the sidewalk of fame, they reserve me a space.
Todd said that we should start thinking about children, but I couldn't think about that. I had a featured role on Broadway. Children, we're going to have to wait.
When it's raised on the screw, all my dreams come true. I'm at last moving from the abyss. All the clutching and crying, the living, the dying, the watching and waiting, the switching and waiting. It all comes down to this.
I set 3 alarm clocks to wake me up before my first day of rehearsal. Not that I was able to sleep a wink. The first day of rehearsal is so important. That's the day you meet everyone for the first time. And suddenly this group of strangers becomes this big, beautiful new family. It's terrifying, intimidating, and the best feeling in the world. Just like that, overnight, storm comes hard, icy light. From here on, sunny weather, not
And the whole stage will rise up.
even so, don't forget, 1, 2, we're soaking wet in the rain and drenched where you take it in every sight. Now your dreams are taking flight, and remember what it feels like to feel good. Take this day, tackle the warmth away. Feelings like this can't stay. Save it until it's raining. Well, who knows when it might come again? I don't know where or when. Still, I'm not complaining. I'm closer today, and I'm ready before. Only inches away from who knows what's in store. And the forecast never looked so bright before. No one's stealing this feeling. Save it for a rainy day.
When it rains, it pours. Offers started coming in at every turn, but still it wasn't good enough for dear old Dad. When I told my father about my first chorus part, he said, "Does your part have a name?" When I told him about my first speaking role, he asked, "Does your part have a song?" When I told him about my first song, he said, "Do you have your own dressing room?" No matter what I accomplished, it just wasn't good enough for him or for me, and for very different reasons. But at least I was working, and that had to count for something.
Stop! Stop, stop! Who do I have to fuck to get a job in this town? I nearly took out an ad asking that very question. Everybody was getting offers right and left. Everybody but me. Yeah, you always hear about the casting couch. Okay, fine. Point me to the couch. Tell me where to sit. God! Jesus, Joseph, Mary, Tom, Dick, and Harry, Curly, Moe, and Larry. Could it be my father was right? I finally see a glimmer of, a tiny but a shimmer of, the spermatozoa glimmer of light. And as the choir would screech each Sunday morning, Jesus, Joseph, Mary, Tom, Dick, and Harry, Curly, Moe, and Larry, I've been reborn. I got the job. The skies are blue. I got the job. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah. That heaven don't exist. But look who got her name marked on the unemployment list. I got the job, no longer bored. I got the job, say praise the Lord. I used to think that God was off the show, but God gave me gifts, so I'll give glory 'cause I know His work was handy when He turned water into wine. His work was gummy. Then He made me turn mine. He answered so many wishes with all those loaves and fishes, and for His big personality wasn't He divine? I got the job. Amen says me.
Amen says she.
I'm not the slob I thought I'd be.
She thought she'd be.
I made a deal with heaven up above, and Lord, He can see that I'll repay Him with my love. His work was handy when He turned water into wine. His work was handy. Then He made He paid the money. Answered so many wishes with all those loaves and fishes, and for His big finale wasn't He divine? With a little loving, you can get yourself to heaven. With a little luck, you'll keep each goal and dream in sight. With a little loving, you can get yourself to heaven. With a little luck, you're standing backstage every night.
It's so tonight, the skies are blue. It's so tonight, say hallelujah. You only think that heaven don't exist.
Opening night was a madhouse. So many press demanding the best seats. Who knew working in the box office could be so stressful? Look who got her name marked off the unemployment list.
We got a name marked off. 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 We got a name marked off.
I got the job. Tryouts in Boston, my hometown. My family filled an entire row.
My mother cried and my father whistled on my curtain call, though he was furious I didn't have my very own curtain call.
Todd was teaching art at a private school in Brooklyn, so he couldn't make it to the out-of-town previews. But he bought me a gorgeous pair of diamond earrings to commemorate the occasion. I'll never take them off as long as I live.
Opening night is the worst. Half an hour before the show, you feel like you're about to lose your lunch. You can't wait for the overture, because you know you're about to knock him dead. After opening night, your life is gonna change forever.
You stand in the wings. Your heart beats like a metronome.
I throw up before every performance.
I gotta pee. You see the crowds.
You hear the applause.
You're on top of the world. Then you hear the announcements.
Please unwrap all candy wrappers.
Turn off all cell phones and beepers.
No flash photography.
Places, please.
Standing in the light, you give your all, and still you keep on giving. No one in the world can stop you now.
Every single cue is all brand new, and now you're really living. Suddenly your world starts to take flight. Standing in the light.
I stood in the wings and held my breath. I was dance captain for a new musical based on Airport 77 called Bumpy Ride. And boy, was it ever.
Welcome aboard Mega Airlines. Make yourselves right at home. We're your happy attendant. New York, Paris, or Rome. If you ever should need us, press that button, take heart. We're all yours for the asking. Sit back as we depart. We're your goddesses of flight. We're the stars inside the place. We'll light your way through darkness and help you ease the pain. So fasten your seatbelts, it can't be denied. Your sexy hosts will make the most of one bumpy ride. Standing in the light, you're finally home. Let the applause embrace you. Step out from the wings, still filled with pride. Hear the overture, you feel so sure there's not a better place. You take the stage and suddenly take flight. Standing in the light.
Hiroshima opened on a Tuesday.
Hiroshima, 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 Hiroshima,
And closed on a Wednesday.
Hiroshima.
It was a bomb in every sense of the word. So I got a new job, working as an electrician for a new musical starring newcomer Nelson Cox. My mama always told me I should have something to fall back on. So I thought, if I wasn't going to be performing on stage, I might as well do something backstage. I had a ball. Not only was I doing something backstage, I was doing everybody backstage.
Slander my name, say what you will. Tackle the stars and moon. Without you dear, songs are not viewed. I love you, Lord.
Standing in the light, you hear each sound. Each opening night is wondrous. Waiting in the wings, you feel the thrill.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Java Lava Coffee Shop is proud to present Life Through Liza.
It's Lisa.
Whatever.
It is Lisa with an E, and Lisa with an E implies the greatest things. My name is Lisa. Not Lisa
sleeping night is wondrous. Waiting in the wings, you hold your breath. Look out past the crowd, you feel so proud, and the applause is thunderous. Standing center stage, the world is yours. Standing in the light.
I had been in the biz for almost 10 years and I was still just in the chorus. But opening night was always the same. I was a chorus girl for a new musical called He's All Mine. It was about two secretaries in love with the same man. Their boss. Don't you just love musical theater?
He may never bring me flowers. He may never sing me songs. With all that he's done, he's all I got. He's all mine. He may never buy me chocolates. He may never try to swoon. A misfit indeed, but all I need, he's all. Standing in the light, you take your bow. Each curtain call is wondrous. Give them all applaud, you made it now. Look out past the crowd, you feel so proud, and the applause is thunderous. Standing center stage, the world is yours. The world is yours.
Then came the reviews.
Bumpy Ride was the single most disturbing piece of musical theater I have ever been unfortunate enough to witness.
Opening last night at the Broadhurst Theatre was a brand new musical called He's All Mine. In this critic's humble opinion, you can have him. A musical about a plane crash. After being forced to sit through this travesty on stage, I'm starting to think the ones who crashed were the lucky ones. Adrian Green couldn't be more of a ham if she were covered in pineapple and cloves.
Watch out, Broadway! New York has a new star on its horizon. Nelson cuts into triple threat of massive proportions. He sings, acts, and dances his way into the most hardened theater goer. He's charming and handsome. He puts the cool back in musical theater. Suddenly my life is rosy. Suddenly I'm comfy, cozy. I don't do a thing, cause I've got people. Told my agent if you need me, managers have guaranteed me. I won't do a thing, cause I've got people. Everybody's scraping, bowing, all kowtowing. Everybody sharing, giving, may I live in. Here keeps my image shiny. When I grab myself some hiney, I just have a ball, let all my people. If I'm in an awful quandary, if I need to do some laundry, I pick up the phone and call my people. Everybody scraping, bowing, all kowtowing. Everybody sharing, giving, we are living.
Suddenly life is rosy, comfy, cozy. Suddenly life is easy, free and breezy.
Here's the curtain, here's the steeple. Open up, see all my people. See them fall in line behind more people. Making sure that life won't throw me. Ask them if they really know me. They won't have a clue. They're just my people. Everybody's scraping, bowing, all kowtowing. Everybody sharing, giving, we are living.
Suddenly life is rosy, comfy, cozy. Suddenly life is easy, free and breezy. Suddenly life is rosy, comfy, cozy. Suddenly life is easy, people.
never performed again after Life Through Lisa. One reviewer said the audience might have liked the piece if someone had put a spear through Lisa. Someone told me that one day I would laugh about it all, but I never did. I'm so down, my chin is resting on my feet. Further down than the sewer on the street. If I were lower, I'd be the dirt that sticks to your shoes. I got the low down stinking. What were they thinking? Dirty, rotten, bad reviews, blues. Critics claimed my work was trivial and dry. Someone said I dropped the bomb on opening night. One headline read, we won't be shocked if somebody sues. I've got the critics boot me. Somebody shoot me. Crappy, awful, bad reviews. Please don't try to pet me, 'cause I ain't in the mood. Please don't try to cheer me. Just let this broken broad brood. All my dreams in every headline shot to shit. Now my dreams, they keep on telling me to quit. Why should I get up when I'm so sure I'm yesterday's news? I've got the here comes trouble. Pour me a double. Thrill me, kill me, bad reviews, blues. Just let me wallow in the facts after so many blues. I've got the low down stinking. What was I thinking? Dirty, rotten, crappy, awful, thrill me, kill me. Bad reviews, blues.
I was in one flop after another, but I kept on getting work. I sat in my dressing room and I looked at a picture of my father and me. It's taken backstage at my very first dance recital, and our cheeks are all squished together. I am wearing this god-awful can-can outfit, and my face is made up like a Parisian whore. Why do adults make their kids look like that? I'll tell you why. Because he wanted his little girl to be special and save him from a life of mediocrity. I was his precious little star, and suddenly everything was going according to plan. But whose plan? From day one I knew that I would make it. In my dreams I knew I'd find my star. I would live the life I always knew I'd live. But who knew I'd still have to fake it? Be careful the things that you wish for. Be careful, they just might come true. And
wine, I could laugh about all the bad reviews. A few hits on a joint, and I could laugh about the fact that so many people thought my life story was a joke. One night, after one too many bottles of wine, I decided I was leaving. I just wanted out.
From the start, I saw my future glowing. Made the rounds and gladly paid my dues. Kept on track, the course was always straight and clear. I'm here now, but where am I going?
I didn't know where I was going, but I got in my car and drove as fast as I could. I couldn't even see the road. I just wanted out. I was crossing 72nd and Broadway, and I ran a red light. I didn't even see the guy crossing the street.
Be careful, the things that you long for. Be careful, they might see you through and find that you're wrong for the moment you dreamed would come true.
I stopped for a second, but just took off and kept on going. I don't know if he's alive or dead. Who knows what became of him? Who cares what became of me?
Be careful, they might see you through and find that you're wrong for the moment you dreamed would come true. So now here I am after moving so far beyond me. And I don't give a damn, I'm the star that I knew I'd be. I'm on the marquee, my name's on the star door, and I'm on the TV, but don't care anymore. And I'm wondering, what in the hell did I do this for? Be careful, the things that you long for. Be careful, they might see you through. Be careful, be ready.
After 8 shows a week for 6 months, every single night is an excuse to party.
I got a job as an assistant choreographer. The money was better, but a little extra income never hurt anybody.
Keep it up, keep it up, fix it up, fix it up, keep it up.
After my mother died of alcoholism, I made a promise to myself. I would never find myself in her shoes. I would never make the same mistake she did. Thank God she never did coke, because this stuff is great.
Keep it up, keep it up.
My mama would have a stroke if she saw me at a party like this. Give me promise never to smoke a marijuana cigarette. And I've always kept that promise. Good thing she didn't know about acid.
Here I am on the brink, walking off the cliff.
Keep it up, keep it up, mix it up, mix it up, keep it up.
This girl came up to me at a party. I didn't know who she was, a friend of a friend. She asked me if I had any coke.
Say what you say, call me cliche. I'm gonna take Broadway.
Turn it up, chop it up, start it up, turn it up.
Standing in the light, you have it all.
Keep it up, keep it up, mix it up, keep it up.
In the blink of an eye, someone says you can fly.
And I said to her, cocaine, that's pretty hardcore. It's gonna cost you. Boy,
But there's no one in the world,
Like me.
Well, it took 10 years, but I was finally the toast of the town in New York. Everybody wanted me for their next big project. I could have anything I wanted. And I mean anything. One night, I was crossing the street at 72nd and Broadway. And suddenly, out of nowhere, this car comes racing through the intersection. Next thing I know, I wake up in hospital 6 weeks later, both my legs shattered into a million pieces. They never caught the bastard who was driving, and I never performed again. Now, what do? I make deals over expensive lunches in Beverly Hills. I wheel and deal for naive idiots with their heads in the stars and not their asses. They get off the bus, just like I did, hoping to become a star. Now I don't even remember wanting to perform. Applause is nice, but power is the best. I get what I want when I want it. Shouldn't that be what life's all about?
Suddenly my life is rosy. Suddenly I'm comfy cozy. I don't need a thing, 'cause I got...
Put your shirt on and go out the back door.
I never worked in a musical again. To be honest, it really didn't mean that much to me to be a star. After I left home and came to New York, I realized I just needed something to run to. I just needed an excuse to get out. Hell, I didn't want to be in Camelot. I just wanted to go there. I grew up on a farm and set off the alarm when I packed my bags and blazed on out to Dallas. Without nothing but luck, I got rid of my truck and I called a bus that got me out of Dallas. Hit me a lift in New York City. Well-paying jobs were far too few. Making my way in New York City, what's a sweet young thing to do? Like a wandering lone star, I walked up to the bar and I asked the man to show me to his palace. With my devilish grin that could do them all in, I said you could use a sweet young thing from Dallas. Well, he took me up into his penthouse apartment and he made me do things that would make my mama blush. And you know, he even asked me to keep my boots on. not why I came, so forgive me if I seem a little callous. But he gives me some loot, and I get up to boot. Said the happy, honey, cute young thing from Dallas. Well, I howl at the moon like a dog on heat. I hit the street, start my carousing. If you need someone hot and sweet, mister, I'm awfully arousing. With my cowboy hat and top-ripped jeans, these cowpokes and supplies to me, 'cause I'm just a sweet young thing from Dallas. Yippee-ki-yay, cowboy! Ah, woo!
After a few years in rent, I got a recording contract, moved out to LA, and started my new life as a rock star. Suddenly, I had everything I ever wanted. They picked me up in a limousine. Boy, I wish Mama could have seen that. It was bigger than our whole house, and it had a bar in it. Mama would have really loved that. I get this agent, some crotchety old man. Not old, but old. He could barely walk. He was at least 40. Anyway, he became my agent, and all he had to do was pick up the phone, and I was in the recording studio recording one hit after the other. Well, not really one after the other, but one. And that was plenty. For the first time in my life, anything I wanted was in my reach. First, I paid off my debt. Then I caught up on rent. Spent a fortune and yet haven't made me a dent. As the money keeps on flowing, how sweet to finally learn the rent can't make a dent when you've got money to burn. Then I met me a Tees with a tight little ass. Took a trip overseas where we flew upper class, and the lovers keep on swooning when they see what I earn. The checks supply the sex when you've got money to burn. Every penny, every dollar, making hand over fist as the fence begins to holler. Now I eat caviar with the finest champagne. Threw down cash for a car. Next I'll buy me a plane. Such a towering inferno, but no need for concern. There's ways around the place when you've got money to burn. Every penny, every dollar, making hand over fist as the fence begins to holler. Every penny, every dollar leaves me nothing left to yearn. The cash turns into ash when you've got money to burn.
I kept struggling. Jobs came every now and again, but I thought after I had my first show, I'd be able to write my own ticket. If I had a nickel for every hopeful actor who thought that, and I could have used any nickel I could get. I had to get a job in a bar. I had to take out cash advances on my credit card, which
eventually ran out. I even had to hawk a locket that belonged to my grandmother. You need money to get by in New York, and believe me, it's not easy to come by.
Haven't worked in a year, running low on that cash. Some would tremble in fear, some would save them a stash. But I'm gonna keep on living like the tide's gotta turn. I'll spend until the end like I've got money to burn.
But you can't take it with you, buried safe in summer.
That's why the day I die, I won't have money to
I was finally playing leads on Broadway. One night, my parents showed up in my dressing room and told me they were getting a divorce. Turns out they were just staying together for my sake. Now, I was leaving, and they were going to spend the rest of their lives alone. I knew that would never happen with Todd and I. I was going to make it as a star, and he was going to teach art, and we'll build a life together and grow old together. At least that's what he said. Todd said you're the best in the chorus. Todd said you're the top of the lot. Todd said I don't know what it takes, but I know what you've got. You'll take some time, make every audition, and someday you'll make it, you'll see. Could be lies that he fed, but that's what Todd said. Todd said after starring on Broadway, Todd said, now your dreams have come true. Todd said, hon, I love you so much, let's make one more of you. You'll take some time, a minor hiatus, and start on a family tree. I would sooner drop dead, and that's what I said. Through the years in the center row, Todd was there each opening night. Through the cheers as the fans would grow, Todd said, well done, then he'd run out of sight. Todd said on a cold Sunday morning, Todd said there's a change in the plans. Todd said I've been slowly pushed out by your throng full of fans. I need some time, a small separation, to sort out where I want to be. Deal with my needs instead. Yes, that's what Todd said. Before my mother died, she worked as a caretaker for this old woman who made it on Broadway in the 50s. By the time my mother started looking after her, she was very old and could barely get around. All she had left after years of success and wealth were a beautiful pair of diamond earrings that she wore till her dying day. Everything else she had lost completely. She had no family and died alone. Todd said he would love me forever. Todd said through the high and the low. Todd said the last Sunday from never. That's how far Todd's love was willing to go. Todd swore he would stand right by my side. That's what Todd said. That's what Todd said. Todd lied. My mother was there on the day she died. And you know what she did? After that poor old woman died alone in her bed, my mother ripped those earrings from that lady's ear and ran straight for the hills. That's why my father says our family has such bad luck. We got a curse and a cap my mother stole from a rich old maid. Guess what? Life ain't such a crock of shit after all. That wallet I stole had $200 in it. So I went out, got my new headshots, and sent one into a director. And he called me and cast me as his wife. And if that ain't enough, I'm playing a French maid in his next movie. My life has totally taken a brand new turn. And all because of some pissy queen singing Some Enchanted Evening.
That's Miss Pissy Queen of you. Oh, come on! Like any of you are shocked. I mean, I had this coming since day one. I was putting on my own version of Anything Goes at the age of 6, and I was the best damned Reno Sweeney to this day. I never really had much luck in New York. After my wallet was stolen, I couldn't get into any auditions without my equity card. But that's when a friend of mine rang me from Las Vegas. He was putting on a few cabarets, and he asked me if I was interested in doing a few performances. Hello, cabaret, Las Vegas, cha-ching. Oh, what kind of woman's gonna turn down an offer like that? And it was at that day that I said, adios to JB, and how do you do to Miss Beverly Bow Crusher. Oh, if only my parents could see me now. They've always said to me that show business was for girls, dancing was for girls, and dresses were for girls. If only they could see me at the Stonewall riots. I remember, before my daddy put me on that plane to New York, he said,
Son, you go out there and you find yourself a mighty fine woman.
Well, guess what, Daddy? I have. Walking down Park Avenue, you hear me strutting past the door, and I saw a light. Someday I'd have fancy dicks, diamond rings, and platinum wigs. There's no maybe, baby, there's no might. Walking down Park Avenue, and hear me strutting down the sidewalk, I saw light. Summer blues, but I ain't some. Pop the booze, my time has come. Watch out, fellas, here comes opening night. Make way for the divas, leave a trail of broken hearts. Make way for the here she comes, and now it's hot. On the side and buckle in. Extra ass has never been such an eager set to spin. Make way. Lifting up Park Avenue on sparkle. Strutting past the dome and smiling night. All the furs and fancy clothes, watch this woman soaring out of sight. What that world is doing set on fire. Take her cover, she's about to blow. Can't believe it's not like her. Can't believe it's not like her. Such a diva, watch it stop and go. Whoa. Make way for the diva. Leave a trail of broken hearts. Make way for the diva. Here she comes. Now it's off. Hold on tight and buckle in. Extra ass has never been such a diva set to stand. Make way! Oh, hello, officer. Make way! Such a scruffy boy. Hey! Make way! Hello, officer. Let me blow on your whistle. Make way for the diva!
I spent many years performing in New York. I had some very nice parts. I made my family very proud. Then the jobs became far and few between, and then I got a job at Radio City. I was third girl from the left. And there we were on that huge stage, in the same costumes, identical wigs, doing the same high kicks, and the crowd loved us. They couldn't get enough. Then after the show, I'd walk out a stage door, and no one had any idea who I was. I'd walk past them and head onto the sidewalk like every other person on the street. One out of millions. Until I met him, Todd. He wasn't in the business at all. He was a teacher, an art teacher in a private school in Brooklyn. He had large hands and beautiful brown eyes. He had moved to the city with his girlfriend, who was also an actress. I'm lucky I even got a second date. He had sworn off actresses altogether. Well, that's what he said. But luckily, I got that second date, and for the first time since I came to this place, I was a star. Growing up, I knew what I had to be. I would be a star till the nth degree, and the crowd call my name. They would cry and they'd cheer. Well, here I am, but no one's here. Where are the roaring crowds? Where have the fans all gone? If this is all there is, if this is all there is, if this is all there is, how can I go? But I stick it out, and I won't give in. I once met a man with a precious grin, and he calls out my name, and he'll cry and he'll cheer, and through it all, he's still here. Where are the roaring crowds? Where have the fans all gone? If this is all there is, if this is all there is,
family has had the worst luck after the curse. My brother Frederick was killed in an awful bar brawl. And to make matters worse, my other brother Kyle killed himself with the very same nail gun that blinded my father. On my father's deathbed, he gave me a key to a security box. Inside that box were the earrings my mother had stolen. He begged me, as soon as he died, I had to get rid of them. Oh, I got rid of them all right. Ran straight for the pawn shop and bought myself a first-class ticket to New York City. Sure, I've had bad luck in the past, but I am not going to let a silly thing like a curse ruin my big break. Bursting off the bus in a big city, stepped into a great big wad of gum. Ew! Next thing off the bus, it wasn't pretty. Had my wallet stolen by some bum. But nothing can get me down in this big ugly town. Nothing can get me down, so I'll keep on looking up. Started out to find me an apartment. On the west side found one tiny room. Something smaller than a wee compartment. Had to fight off roaches with a broom, but nothing can get me down. In this big ugly town. Nothing can get me down. So I'll keep on looking up. Next thing I know, I'm dating a psycho. We live in bliss, our life is a bomb. Our life is perfect, please pinch me. Since we live in Queens with his mom. But nothing can get me down in this big ugly town. Nothing can get me down, so I'll keep on looking up.
Lives her life through rosy colored glasses. Had one dream the day that she was born. After taking all those acting classes, sad sensation starring in a
But nothing can get me down in this big ugly town. Nothing can get me down, so I'll keep on looking up. After many years in a big city, what would happen next? I dread to think. Loaded with self-doubt and tons of pity. Featured down and hankering for the drink. But nothing can get her down in this big ugly town. Nothing can get her down, so she'll keep on looking up. After trying bouts of meditation, turned to drugs and booze to help me numb. After many years of medication, everybody knows what's yet to come. But nothing can get her down in this big ugly town. Nothing can get her down, so she'll keep on looking up. Met her, turned into a loser. Shot her up with heroin and crack. Sometime after started to abuse her. She was far too weak for fighting back. But nothing can get her down. Wait a minute. That is it. I can't take it anymore. Pornos. Booze. Crack. Give me a break. But nothing can get her down in this big ugly town. Shut up! I am down. I'm done. Are you happy? You got me. I'm done. Hello? What are you staring at? I just said I'm not doing that. Turn it off. Turn it off. Wouldn't he be shocked one night after he leaves his sermon, sneaks into the movie theater across the street, and sees his little girl on the big screen? Hi, Daddy. Gotcha.
I was a star. I was finally everything my father wanted me to be. I had everything. Except I didn't have anything that mattered. One night after a performance, I walked out of the stage door and I saw a young girl waiting with a playbill. And her eyes were wide as saucers. She handed it to me and asked me to sign it for her. I bent down and I saw a tear running down her cheek. And she says to me in this quivering voice, I want to do what you do, like no one in the world. I signed her playbill and headed straight for the airport. I couldn't do it anymore.
I had been in New York 10 years, working odd jobs, struggling to get somewhere, anywhere. I came close a couple of times, but still found myself back at a 9-to-5 job. One day I went to the park for lunch. I brought my own because I couldn't afford to eat out. I sit at this bench, and there's this old lady sitting next to me, eating a tuna fish sandwich.
I'm gonna take Broadway.
We started talking, and would you believe it? She used to be an actress in musicals. She looked so frail and tired, but she had such a sparkle in her eye when she talked about Broadway.
Give me a chance to sing and dance. I'm gonna make Broadway.
She moved to New York in the 40s. She only moved from Queens, but it was still quite a leap. And she took that leap and landed on Broadway. And she sang and danced for 30 years. I asked her name. Maybe I had heard of her before. She grabbed my hand and she said,
I didn't come to Broadway to be a star. I came to do the only thing I could.
She barely had a penny to her name. She'd been performing most of her life, and we were both sat at the same bench, eating lunch out of a paper bag. And I had never seen anyone as happy. And I could never see myself that happy. I knew right then, it was time to go.
I got to the airport not knowing where I was going. At the newsstand, I bought a pack of cigarettes and I saw a picture of myself on the cover of a trade magazine. I didn't know who that person was.
I had to call my father for airfare. It was the hardest thing I ever had to do. And I dreaded hearing those words come out of his mouth. I told you so. I took a deep breath. And I told my father I was coming home, defeated. There was a long pause, and he said, "Come home, son. You have no idea how proud of you I am." Moved to the city with nothing in mind but perform. Tried every angle, but ended up lost in the storm. And I chased my rainbows with a promise not to fall, but an armful of nothing leaves nothing at all. What do I do now with my hopes all dashed? What do I have now that the chips are cashed. Where do I go now that it's all been trashed? Somebody show me a somehow and tell me please, what do I do now that the dream is through? What do I have now to look forward to? Where do I go now? Haven't got a clue. Somebody show me a somehow and what to do now.
Moved to the city, determined that I would perform. Made me a fortune and took the whole city by storm. And I chased my rainbows, finding every pot of gold. But an armful of rainbows leaves no one to hold. What do I do now that each wish is cast? What do I have now that is sure to last? Where do I go now? 'Cause I'm fading fast. Somebody show me a somehow and what to do now.
They say go and make your way, have a ball, take the ugly world by its throat. They say do what you must do, have it all, keep it up and don't miss a note. Anyone can have a dream, they say keep your eye on the goal and on the prize. Every day jump on in and then soon you'll realize, come on May, any dream can be yours.
She was standing at a newsstand buying a pack of cigarettes.
He was just getting off the payphone.
I pretended to bump into her.
He pretended to bump into me.
I took her home.
He took me home.
I was still working in a bar, not a nickel to my name. I was tired, but I kept on until I couldn't go on 1 second longer. I packed my bags and I went in for work. I needed the tip money to pay for my train ticket home. My bags were in the corner, and it was an hour before my shift ended. And I waited on this famous singer. She had this one CD that went straight to the top of the charts. Her biggest hit was Money to Burn. And there she was, in the bar, having a drink. She was about to go across the street for a meeting with her accountants. She looked at me and she asked me why I looked so sad. And I told her I was going home. I was giving up. After she left, I found a note on a napkin on her table. And on it she had written, "Don't go home. You are home." And inside that note was a $100 bill. Well, I ran out to try to catch her, but she had gone. I never knew what happened to her. She just disappeared off the face of the earth. But I'll never forget what she did for me. It was her $100 that gave me the courage and the will to stay, even though I never spent it. It's hanging in a frame in my dressing room. And every night when the stage manager calls, 5 minutes, Miss Davis, I kiss that frame and I thank her. If it weren't for her, I never would have made it.
I was walking down the street one night when I nearly tripped over an addict who just shot up and passed out. And something about her caught my eye. She was wearing a t-shirt that read, "Life through Lisa." I'm sure the saying was meant to be optimistic. Life through Lisa. But it seemed so sad and ironic. This poor woman who had thrown her life away was there advertising life on a t-shirt. I never sold another drug after that. I quit choreographing and moved to London for a change of scenery. I had a friend who owned a pub there. I thought I'd hang out a little while. I've never been able to find that place that felt like home, and I still haven't. No one has heard from me in 3 years. My parents don't know what happened to me. My friends haven't heard a word. No one has a clue where I am. But I do.
Me? I'm still going. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's heaven on earth. You have this dream when you're just a tiny thing. From the moment I saw my first Broadway musical and I ran to the stage door crying, I stared into the eyes of this incredible star and I said, I want to do what you do like no one in the world. It's never gone away. The feeling courses up the back of your spine to the top of your head. It's almost electrifying. The chills, the goosebumps. Whether you're playing a packed house on Broadway or a church basement on the Lower East Side, it's not the success or failure that defines you. It's remembering that feeling you first had when you realized what you had to do. Sometimes it gets lonely. My mother passed on a couple of months ago, and I still pick up the phone to call her. I wish she'd seen me make it. I wonder if I ever will. I'm moving to London. I have a friend who owns a pub there, and she said I can stay for as long as I like.
Here I am on the brink, walking off the plank.
Who knows what I'll find across the pond? New faces, new experiences. Who knows? Down the road, around the next bend, who knows what's ahead? But I'll keep on and still keep in mind what so many said. It's just the beginning, all the places we will go, possibilities endless, with the future aglow. If all good things must end, we're in the first inning. Hold on tight, my friend. This is just the beginning.
All good things
Zoe?
Phoenix!